On the same. Apologies if I'll keep intervening, just for the trickle effect on the time, which could perhaps keep this day as a night. Hopefully, we do not want to go to that. So we're going to be just ensuring that the time is maintained. Our next speaker is going to be G. Ravindranath, CEO, Fixed Income Money Market and Derivatives Association of India, a career banker at State Bank of India, having 35 years of experience covering retail, trade finance, foreign exchange, credit, and treasury operations in India and abroad. One of the key responsibilities held by him was heading the retail operations of State Bank of India in the state of Maharashtra as well as Goa. So a good leadership position, of course, you've maintained, and we look forward to your expertise on the same.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I have a challenge here. One, you have heard a story of a Virar fast, and then probably by Mr. Sandeep, you have heard a Virar slow story about look, stop, and go, about the economy, and then two important components of the economy. Like, it's a VUCA world. Everybody understands that the world is now more uncertain. And then it became more uncertain because of the latest developments in the market, which Mr. Sandeep has mentioned in his speech. But however, I would like to take a step and then inspiration from the growth story of the mutual fund industry, which is absolutely breathtaking, and then the numbers speak for itself, and then it has catapulted the Indian savings story and investment story into the realm of, it's like something like what happened to us in the technology world, like UPI propelled us into the world leadership in the technology. So taking inspiration from the story, I would like to focus on the real sector which needs to grow in tune with the aspirations of the Viksit Bharat, which is the corporate bond, corporate debt market. So I would like to focus a little bit on those, and I would like to share my thoughts on that. As you can see from the goals that we have set ourselves for the Viksit Bharat, let's see, look at this. These are all tall orders, right? They are outlandish if somebody wants to look at it from that perspective. But as I think, yes, here, this is where I should have started, but somebody pre-positioned myself into the second goal. Look at this yato bhavo tat bhavati. This is the principle with which India has survived and India has run so far. And India has proved once again that the belief is what is going to make you, not any other parameter. Like even in the lighter vein, Om Shanti Om says that if you believe it, Kainat also will support you. That kind of a belief we have in the Indian economy. And from that, moving on to the corporate debt world, this is the requirement for us in the investment side, which investment which has to come from a corporate debt side, because government debt alone cannot, as though public debt is growing, but that alone cannot supposedly fulfill our infrastructure needs or investment needs. So private consumption, and to that extent, largely from corporate debt world, apart from bank credit, one has to step up and then fulfill the growth of the Viksit Bharat goals is what we want to discuss today. As you can see, the growth rate of the GDP will have to really catapult, really propel to reach the targets by 2047, 100th year of our independence. Moving on.
When I am speaking out, mine is a small box. Is that okay with you?
Is it for us? Something is coming out. Anyway, there are two speakers probably. So
Yes. So anything else I should do? Nothing.
yeah. So now, but then while the goals are there, look at the last part, that our working population age will be, our working age population will be 112 crores. This is one of the greatest assets that we will have in terms of reaching the goals that we set ourselves for. While the population is a both pro and con as well as, but then the working age population is the driver, and we need to reap the demographic dividend in order to reach these Viksit Bharat goals. So moving on, this is how our current GDP levels are. These are all facts based on reported by the various analysts. So if you look at our size and where we are now and where we want to be, it's a tall order, and the journey is really clearly laid out for us if we have to reach the 2047 goals as we are looking at the Viksit Bharat journey. So the financial assets have to grow many-fold, and then bank assets will also grow, but then the major emphasis, as you can see, is on the financial assets, which have to come from either capital markets of various size and shape, on size and creed also, right? So then household savings, one of the main driving factors for India, has been contributing to the growth, but then the growth in that is probably limited, and then you need to have a supporting role played by the other market segments to reach the goal is our aspiration. Now, in the savings rate, you can see that India is decently positioned, but however, will it alone fulfill our goals? Will it alone be sufficient for us to reach our goals? Definitely not so. So we need to augment it with other types of capital formation in the market, right? Okay. So now this is the capital expenditure that we need to make if you have to reach our expense. So you can look at the 2036 goal of 31,781 lakh crores, which we have to invest in order to reach our goals of Viksit Bharat. Where are the gaps? What is the gaps in terms of our infrastructure investment, which is currently being made in, and what is the currently required as per our, even without the SDG goals, Sustainable Development Goals, even without accounting for that, you can see there is a clear gap in our required investment levels versus what is currently being done. So much needs to be done in terms of investment, and much needs to be done in terms of sustainable development goals as well. Now look at the corporate debt market as a percentage of what is currently being, status of the current corporate bond market or corporate debt market as such. So as a percentage, we are at 16%, whereas at the developed nations, which is the objective of Viksit Bharat, we are aspiring to be, and we need to be at somewhere similar level, so that our aspirations are met through these bonds, which is a corporate debt, which is a main tool that as we think of how to achieve our goals, right? In terms of non-institutional credit, which is also there in the developed world, but it is not much in our domestic economy. So we'll move on to what else can be done. The traditional bond market is also has a role to play, and as such, we also think that there is a need for us to innovate and then create special purpose vehicles and special channels wherein this investment can be focusedly arranged for, focusedly given, focus can be given in that. So we have been, we have already created certain structures for that, but there is a much longer journey ahead of us in those structures. And as you can see, the REITs and InvITs, which are one of the special kind of investment-related avenues that we have chosen or we have created in our economy, they need to grow substantially to meet these objectives of 2047 goals that we have set ourselves for. Okay. So then, moving a little bit more on the REITs and InvITs, you can see the growth is there starting from about 10 years ago. We have seen the REITs and InvITs have, there is a spurt in registration of the REITs and InvITs, which are primarily vehicles to drive the investment growth. You can see that there is a 1 lakh odd AUM, 1,20,000, 1,30,000 AUMs they have, the fundraising they have already done. Their number also you can see from 4 to 2024 they are 4, and then now they are 6, as well as there is some growth even in the InvITs part also. There is a lot of work being done in terms of how to make them more effective. So if you look at their non-bank long-term credit debt funding in terms of developed nation versus a Indian position, you can see that we are somewhere about 14%, and then the required level of the comparable level of a developed nation is about 98.9% done through these special vehicles and non-bank credit going to long-term debt. So, okay, so financial sector needs to be scaled up. This is a generic statement which we need to do, and how to do what, and in terms of corporate debt, what we need to do, we will just go through a little bit. So assets, financial assets have to grow at 20x rather than what, and GDP to grow at 10x, then financial assets have to grow at 20x. So this is how the aspiration levels should be. and then Indian banking industry needs this much of capital for providing the bank credit, so which probably is factored in, but much has to be coming from the corporate debt world. Where are we at this point in time? At this point in time, though the journey is very rosy, very comfortable, but we still have a journey, lot of answers. You can look at the journey is there, but whereas the outstanding credit is that outstanding corporate bond credit is about 46 lakhs, but still we have to reach to 120 or 120 lakh crore level, we have a long way to go. So what are the basic challenges? One of the features of the corporate bond market is that there is a lot of there is a lot of private placement, and so it has got some effects on the how it impacts on the secondary market level. That also we can see. And then what are the basic challenges that we face in terms of corporate debt market growth? We can see these are listed here. We have a very limited issuer pool, and which is dominated by a high-class, high-rated industry components, whereas the low-level rated industries are not able to access the corporate debt market for various reasons historically. So what we should do probably address this issue. There are a lot of efforts being done, and investor base is also pretty limited, and so retail participation is very patchy, and then it's very nascent, and then it's yet to grow. Only by way of mutual funds they are currently participating. And then access is also an issue because the disclosure norms and then the documentation. There's a lot of complexity associated with accessing the funds through a debt market. So there is a challenge there. Liquidity is also another issue, and green bonds are a offshoot which is growing, but we are not there yet. We have to go a long way. So then. What is positive signs? Positive signs are now Indian debt is included in the JP Morgan Emerging Market Index, and soon enough we should also be seeing our debt part of the government debt part of the Bloomberg Index. So this will have a ripple effect on Indian debt markets appeal also to for investors abroad, and we expect a lot of flows into corporate bond debt market. Municipal bonds have become a rage abroad, and then we still have a very long way to go here. We have made good beginnings, both in terms of regular as well as green bond issuances. So that where Indore's issue and then Ghaziabad's issue are a success story unto themselves. And then NAFID, we have established a specific development institution, NAFID, which has got a developmental mandate and then working towards deepening of corporate bond market also. And more importantly, there is a repo market, tripartite repo facility has been provided by at the aegis of SEBI. That means repo is providing the liquidity for you whenever you want to have a short-term liquidity available based on your investments. That's a great help. And if there is a market disruption, mutual funds are a great investors into the corporate debt market. And if there is a market disruption, if they have a crisis, then there is a debt market fund available for them to fall back upon. So regulatory reforms, a lot of ease of doing business reforms have been done by SEBI. These are all statement. COVASAC is an important committee to that effect, and then they are helping the every aspect of the access of the bond market, growth, liquidity, everything is being addressed through these platforms as well as the regulatory reforms thereof. So I think we have a lot of positivity about REITs and Invest to come through. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ravindranath. Of course, sharing more of the positive aspects and how optimism and the continued investments in the country will hopefully help us in sailing through the tough times. So great perspective right there. Let's give him a warm round of applause on the same and sharing his expertise.